You're listening to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon, presented by 92.9 Tom FM, an iHeart radio station.
Hello and welcome to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon, powered by iHeart Radio. I, of course, am Kyle McMahon, and this is episode 39 of Pop Culture Weekly. Today, our guest on the rotating panel of guest hosts is Justin Pospieck, on-air talent, producer extraordinaire, all things helpful.
Jack of all trades, wherever you need me, I'm here to help. So I'm here today, my first ever Pop Culture Weekly.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you. We have a lot of interesting things to talk about. The episode today is the best movies to watch during coronavirus quarantine. And wow, there's a lot of stuff going on, not just in Hollywood, but in the world.
As much as there's a lot of stuff going on as it is that there isn't a lot of stuff going on, because everyone's on lockdown, everyone's on the word of the week, the word of the month is quarantine.
Yeah.
So everybody's posted up at home for the most part and looking for something to do before they jump out of their skin stuck on the couch. But don't worry, that's why you're here. That's why things like Roku, Netflix, Hulu are all here to give us something fun to watch and hopefully take our minds off what's going on out there in the world.
Absolutely. You know, this is really, what else do we have to do in this crazy time right now but distract ourselves?
Yes, and if there's anything I pride myself in when it comes to getting work done, really in any situation, it's distracting myself. And so this is my time to shine. I hope I could do all your listeners proud and give them something to enjoy while they're trapped at home, because really, it's a lockdown city out there.
Yeah, it's kind of terrifying. As of today, right now, in our world, you know, some cities are starting to talk about shelter in place, and, you know, our state is essentially in lockdown for the most part, and it's just crazy, crazy, crazy times.
Yeah, trying to figure out what to do, if you can squeak out and walk around out and about. I know they were talking about, well, it's okay to be out in fresh air, so now's the time to exercise and work on that if you can, as opposed to loading up on snacks on the couch. But my lovely partner was talking to me about how yesterday out on the one trail along the river in Philadelphia, because it was nice weather and they recommend people get outside, it was full of people. So kind of hard to social distance when everybody decides now's the time to go for that jog and everybody's bunched up together along the river path. So this right here, Pop Culture Weekly, is the perfect prescription for a situation like this, to give you something to do digitally, watching stuff, listening to stuff, to keep that social distance at its maximum of 6 feet, right?
6 feet, yeah.
We're 6 feet apart right now, right?
Yes.
Just about.
Yeah. So I did decide during all this, you know, I need to keep up my exercise goals. I started yesterday taking Blue on 2 very long walks.
And that's a perfect idea.
Yeah.
Distraction is key.
Yeah.
And out and about with the pup.
Yep.
I imagine that was a fun time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he loves walking. He loves just being with me. But he's, 70 pounds of muscle. I mean, he's total muscle. And he could go forever. But I'm like, okay, let's start baby steps here, buddy.
Reel it in, buddy.
Yeah.
This isn't it's a new routine Papa's working on here, so I don't exactly have the stamina. Just give me a few weeks at this, because apparently it's going to be a few weeks at this. So by the end of it, you could be ripped.
Yes, I could be an Olympic athlete by the end of this.
As opposed to sitting inside, it's going out and about, because those are your really only 2 options because of everything that's closed down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, movie theaters, and we're going to talk about that in the next segment, everything shut down. So essentially it is work, which I can do from home for the most part, or I come in, to iHeart where none of the salespeople are here, none of the staff is here.
For the most part, yeah. That's the one tough thing when we're not on full quarantine lockdown, stay at home, because we could stay at home and work, but that's where that distraction thing kicks in real big time. So it's why I'm grateful that we can still come in and get stuff done, because this is really the only place I can get stuff done.
Yeah,
well, I want to get it done.
And so, funny story regarding that. So on my Rizzle channel, I do Pop Culture Minute every day, and I was doing my update last night from home, and my 70-pound dog decided he wanted to give kisses during the middle. So I'm literally recording this video live on Rizzle, and I hear, 70 pounds of muscle barreling down the steps, and I'm like trying to focus on...
You know it's coming.
Yeah.
You're trying to get out everything you can before you get tackled in a big fuzzy love punch.
And that's exactly what happened. He jumps on me and just starts licking my face as I'm filming. I start laughing hysterically. You can see the video up on Rizzle or just Rizzle. But it was funny. But anyway, so, speaking of distractions, there's 70 pounds of distraction.
I think animals are going to be playing a big role in this because my lovely partner was talking about how her cat made an appearance during her digital meeting she had with her lab the other day when, you're posted up at home, you got your computer on your desk or your lap or wherever you're hanging out, and typically if you're at home, well, that's your pet's territory too.
Yeah.
So they're going to be walking all over, smelling things. You got a nice little video chat going. You see a fuzzy little head pop into frame. And that's what we need now more than ever when it comes to distraction and trying to keep things light as we try to end the global pandemic.
Yes.
No big deal.
Navigate these waters. All right, let's get into hot clips. That is, so I've changed up the format a little bit of the show. Typically, hot clips was like third, but then I was like, you know what? Hot clips should be first. So we're going to get into hot clips. Hot clips. All right, so hot clips. Well, movie theaters are shut down.
This is big.
Yeah.
It's putting us into territory that I feel when it comes to digital releases we were heading towards anyway. Music certainly has hit that years ago with iTunes when it comes to, well, you're not really buying CDs in stores anymore. I have a select handful of bands I'll actually buy their new CD from, but I'm also scarily enough getting to that age where I'm not that in touch with the newest music coming out. But when there's only a couple bands where I'll buy their new CDs. Everything's coming through digitally anyway. And now, with no one being able to go to movie theaters for their own safety, distributors are starting to test the waters of releasing things digitally first.
Yeah. Yeah. So the first big one to move was, because now a bunch of big movies are delayed. No Time to Die, the new Bond film.
The biggest... there was so much debate about Daniel Craig. Is it going to be his last Bond film? Is it not? They had Billie Eilish do the theme, which was she's the hottest of the hot right now. That was a big release, and all building towards
the final Bond film, his final Bond film. He finally decided, which was going to be released in a few weeks. And then they were the first to completely move the date, so now that's coming out in November. Mulan, Disney's live-action
Mulan.
Yeah, so at first they just postponed it in China, and which was going to be a huge market for Mulan.
Absolutely.
Now it's delayed everywhere. Black Widow, Fast and the Furious 9 is now delayed a year, and that was supposed to come out in a couple of weeks. And then Black Widow, who, I'm a huge Marvel Studios fan, Black Widow was safe until yesterday. They announced that it will be delayed and will not affect any of the rest of Phase 4 because this is kicking off the new phase of Marvel Cinematic Universe. And they, there's a whole bunch of TV shows now on Disney Plus that are all tied in. They're all tied in together.
It's going to throw off that scheduling as well.
Yeah, so we're going to see how that all plays out. But
I think the fact that they're tied into other features where we're talking about Mulan, which we know from the story in the movie from years ago, what are we on, the 47th Fast and Furious, which follows all the other movies. So these aren't really one-off films that I think might fare worse if they were pushed back when there's this build-up for this new, brand new concept, and then it disappears off the radar. It's, we just have to wait a little longer for the next Bond film, but I think that built-in Bond fan base, that built-in Marvel Universe fan base, I'm hoping for the sake of everyone that put in the work on these movies, that built-in fan base will still turn out to see these movies one way or another.
Yeah. I was really looking forward to A Quiet Place 2.
There you go, exactly.
And now that's been delayed. So, what's interesting, what's happening is now they're testing the waters, as you mentioned, with digital on-demand releases. So Invisible Man, Birds of Prey, a bunch of movies that were still in theaters as of a few days ago before they all shut down, they're now putting just immediately on demand to rent for like $20 or something. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
It'll be interesting to see how these films that are released in this format, in these strange times that we're in, how these films end up competing in, the Oscars, all those other award shows, where it's interesting because Netflix and Hulu were slowly starting to make their, well, not slowly anymore when they're dominating the nominations anymore, but they've made their mark as players in those big movie award shows. So it'd be interesting to see how these new digital releases, testing these waters, fare at these big award shows. You think A Quiet Place 2, which the first movie made such an impact, and the latest Bond film, when they're getting these weird releases, how they'll play at the award shows. That might set the trend going forward once we come out of this for these distributors to say, hey, let's just put it online. Let's just put it on the app because people are going to be home anyway instead of having to go out.
Now, I do think so. Trolls 2 is going to be which is called Trolls World Tour, is going to be the first movie that is actually was not in theaters and will just be released straight to on demand. That should be an interesting test because the first one was a big hit, but I don't think you could do this long term because when you're spending $150 million to make a movie and then another 50 or 100 million on marketing, with Trolls 2, Universal had a choice like, do we pause this, and release it in 6 months and then have to do another $50-100 million marketing?
Do they have the money
blitz?
For that in the budget?
Right. But then you're like, now, even if they did, you have to make a heck of a lot more than you did before because now you've doubled your marketing budget. Like, so I'm curious how this is all going to play out. I don't think that they're going to just release all their big movies from now on once this all clears just on demand.
There's a culture of movies. There's something sexy about a movie premiere, a big red carpet, the big debut in front of the world's eyes of a new movie.
Yeah.
So I can't see that changing too much.
And, I love the theater personally, and theater attendance was doing well up until, like 2 weeks ago. And now, of course, it's non-existent. But it's interesting because so far now, because of this, Bad Boys 2 or Bad Boys for Life, whatever it is, 3 or 4.
I saw 2 in theaters years ago with my mom and brother, so this has to be at least the third.
Okay.
Right?
So that currently, and looks like for the next at least few months, is going to be the top grossing movie of 2020.
Imagine that. Imagine being a part of that Bad Boys film, going into it, just trying to make another sweet Bad Boys movie, and now ending up potentially having the biggest grossing movie of the year. Imagine being a part of Trolls, going in to make another Trolls movie, and not realizing you're going to end up being at the forefront of an entire new way of releasing movies.
Yeah, it's crazy. But, the reason I don't think that they will continue with this after all this ends is because when you're doing a $200 or $300 million movie like a lot of the Marvel movies and Pixar and those sorts of things, to put it just on Disney Plus, where, it's $7.99 a month or whatever.
Exactly. A
and
lot of
you
people
already have 30 million subscribers. Like, in order to make that profitable for just that one movie, it just doesn't make mathematic sense.
You don't want to put yourself behind that wall.
Right.
Even though there are a ton of subscribers and they're doing well, you still want to have maximum eyeball potential.
Right.
And that's in theaters.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see how all this plays out. The other worry is, are people going to get used to not going to the theaters?
That's the question. And that's what I think helps your idea of this not being a long-term avenue for movie releases and them ending up back in theaters is I feel there is we got a little bit longer to go, but there's a want to get back to some sense of normalcy, get back outside the house. And I'd be interested to see if once all this blows over, in a sense, if there is a big rush back to the theaters, and I'm sure those numbers for daily and weekly box office totals are going to skyrocket back up.
Right.
That'll be exciting to see, and I think that's going to give people a lot of confidence when they see those numbers blow back up and they go, okay, sweet, we can all go back outside.
Yeah.
We can all go to the movie theater, to the ballpark, once all that stuff is back up and running. Not yet, though.
Yeah, not yet. For me, anyway, I'm on day 3 of like a self-induced lockdown, and I'm already going crazy. I mean, I'm saying that as I'm at my studio. We're at iHeart right now, so
still, there's not a lot of people, like you said, there's not a lot of people in this building.
It's a
there's
ghost
not a lot
town.
of people out on the roads.
Yeah.
When you're out and about, if you got to go somewhere, there's not a lot of people in the grocery stores, not a lot of people at the gas station, because, as we should be, we're just trying to lay low and keep our distance so we're not bumping into each other and spreading this thing like wildfire.
Exactly. Yeah, and for the first time in history, Broadway closed.
Which was it was so funny to listen to, because as soon as I heard that, in my mind, throughout the rest of the day, I couldn't help singing that Goo Goo Dolls song. You know the one? Broadway starts tonight.
Yes.
And that was in my head all day long. I listened to this radio show a day on delay, and when they got that news live on the air, that was the first thing the host started singing. And I was like, great, I'm not the only one. I can't be the only one. I played it again for my boo. She was completely unaware of that song. You knew.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, this is a Goo Goo Dolls deep cut? No, this one was on the radio. What are you talking about? I'm not that deep into Goo Goo Dolls. I thought we all knew this one. It's the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah.
But that's a massive thing. That's so much revenue for that to be halted and shut down.
Yeah, and all those productions, especially the productions that aren't that were just debuting or just starting out, that hadn't caught fire yet.
Things that hadn't even gotten off the ground,
Yeah.
that now, chances are, will never get off the ground.
Yeah, and all those people that were working on it, it sucks. So that's interesting. But some good news in all this, TV ratings are up.
What else you got to do?
Yeah, Ellen's Game of Games is up 44%. I love Ellen. The Voice is up 38%. So people are watching TV again, which they haven't done in forever.
Especially when it comes to Ellen. People want something fun. People want something happy. People want that type of distraction.
Yep.
And before this started kicking into high gear, me and my boo, I would look on Ellen's Game of Games at night when we're home. It's like, oh, this is on. Let's watch her smash some people with pie. Let's watch her drop them off a building into a pile of goo.
Yeah.
All in good fun.
Exactly.
And then at the end of the day, she might give him $1 billion.
Right.
'Cause that's just the kind of person she is. And that's the distraction we need.
Especially now, yeah. Some other pretty cool news. So obviously all of the movie and TV productions have shut down completely. And, a lot of them had started doing no studio audiences.
That was before we realized how we all need to keep our distance, not just keep the studio audience out, but for everybody's safety, keep everybody out.
Exactly.
So they are figuring out interesting ways to still keep some kind of production going on.
Yeah, so like The Tonight Show, Samantha Bee, Daily Show, they're all doing at-home Hello? They're all... That doesn't change anything, right?
Shouldn't, no.
Okay. They're all doing at-home versions of their shows, which is pretty cool. So Conan is taping his entire show from his house on his iPhone, and then I guess sending it in to whoever to put on air.
He's Skyping interviews.
Yes.
Right?
Yep, Jimmy Fallon, too. So, they're finding creative ways to keep people entertained, keep people laughing. I love that.
And it helps you feel like they're in this too.
Yes.
When you can still see new content from them, but they're having to adjust in ways that you are as well. And it's like, okay, well, I guess this is serious, but we're all making it work somehow.
Yeah. Diplo, who I love, who I am supposed to interview at Firefly, should that still go on. And Diplo is one of my favorites. He is doing a live DJ set from his house every single night to keep people entertained.
And that's another big avenue is music. I know this was the first year in forever that the Dropkick Murphys weren't able to perform on St. Patrick's Day,
Right.
which is their day to shine, but they performed live online.
Yep.
And so many other artists. I know Chris Martin from Coldplay. I've seen that video floating around. The lead singer, Ben Gibbard, Death Cab for Cutie. And this is just a drop in the bucket of all the musical artists who are trying to keep their fans entertained, especially when concerts are getting postponed, canceled, postponed for the most part, which is nice to see that we are planning for the future. But in the meantime, they're taken to the internet.
Yeah. Rosie O'Donnell is actually doing a thing, depending on when you listen to this, but for us, it'll be this coming Sunday, and it is her old show, the Rosie O'Donnell Show, which I grew up with.
Yes, absolutely. Setting the stage for doing that whole morning talk show thing, and she did it damn well for many, many years.
Yeah, so she's going to be doing a one-time, as of now, only live online broadcast of her show with, like, all the original players, figuratively speaking, what's his name, John McDaniel or whatever, John
leader?
McD and the McDLTs or whatever, who was like her band leader, where they are doing that, and they're doing it to raise money for Broadway for the people that are out of work and all that stuff. So that's like really cool way of doing something positive, being entertaining,
and raising some money for just a fraction of the people who are in a real tight spot now because of, when it comes to the food industry, all the people involved there, the movie industry, the live concert industry, all the people setting up those lights that are there when you just arrive and get ready for the show, and setting up the stage. All those people are on the beach right now with no real bright outlook other than a couple months now when things are tentatively postponed until, rescheduled for. And that's not even necessarily a guarantee.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, so it's good to see some positives coming out of this. You know, people are shining their lights.
And this is when people can come together and people can show their best self in a real dark time, and hopefully that'll inspire other people to do the same and keep smiles on people's faces when otherwise they're figuring out, oh man, what am I going to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So those are our hot clips for now. Oh, so now it's time for our Funko Pop Culture Moment. I got to say, I have no idea what sound that is because my headphones died, so I'm hoping that it was the Funko stinger that I have.
If you labeled it correctly, then yes. I do run into that issue where, you got a lot of files, and labeling correctly is key.
It really is key, and I am sometimes anal about it and sometimes not. That particular one, clearly I was not. So I hope that was the right sound that I played. But, okay, so our Funko Pop Culture Moment. So, I love Funkos. You just
They're
look
staring
around
at
the
us
studio.
right now.
They're all, Britney Spears is looking at you, Justin Timberlake, because on my speaker, they are happy together. Right next to Freddie Mercury, by the way.
You can cross genres, cross time spans. It's Funko Pop defies all time and space.
It does. It's amazing. So
here we go. He's got the rustling boxes. Can you hear him? We're figuring out. He's got plenty. We're lousy with Funko Pop in here. I'm tripping over them.
So I got to play around with the Funko. So Funko has a whole line of games coming out. Some of them are already out from their Funko Games line. One of them is called Funkoverse. It's a strategy game where you can have anywhere from like 2 to 6 players. It takes about an hour to play, and it's strategy. So basically, you have your favorite characters and you go head to head in different gaming scenarios. So they sent me Funkoverse strategy game, The Golden Girls. So it's got this awesome Dorothy and Sophia Funko Pops as your your player piece. And then what's cool is it has 2 playable maps. So one is Mr. Haha's Hot Dog Hacienda, which is a famous setting from the show, and then the supermarket, because obviously. So it's cool because you can play either of these characters, and you essentially are using your strategy, your brain, to kind of play through these maps. And each player has their own unique ability.
Naturally,
which is cool.
If you've watched the show, each of the ladies has their strong suits and their weaker suits, and that translates into the Funkoverse strategy game players.
Exactly. So, like, Sophia, one of her powers is to curse. or give a witty remark. Another one, her like superpower is to call in a hit, because they always like hinted that she was like mafia. So you could actually call in a hit.
I'm sure that's going to work to your advantage in the game.
Right.
You want to be her.
So they just really did a really good job of, bringing some of your favorite pop culture franchises to a fun game. So they also sent me the Funkoverse strategy game Harry Potter. Now, as you see, this comes with
the squad of them there.
Yeah. So it comes with Harry and
Hermione.
Thank you. Oh my God. And
Bellatrix Lestrange.
There you go.
And Lord Voldemort.
There you go. Look at you. My brain just literally died in the middle of that, and thank God you were there. So again, it's the same kind of thing. In this one, the gameplays are Diagon Alley or the Room of Requirement. And basically, similar to the Golden Girls version, you use your character's powers to, advance through the game. So like for Harry Potter, you can use Flipendo, which is, one of the spells, or forgot what I was going to say. But anyway, so you can use, and then the other cool thing about it is you could combine different Funkoverse like franchises to play the same game. So I could be Sophia from the Golden Girls, and you could be Harry Potter, and we could play a game together.
Which is all the more reason to collect the ones you like. It doesn't have to fit any specific category. You don't only have to collect the Harry Potter characters to play the Harry Potter strategy game. You can have the mashup we've all dreamed of, Harry Potter and Golden Girls.
Exactly. And then they have like expansion kits if you want. So they have another one with obviously the other two Golden Girls if you wanted to do that. Or you could they have Jaws, they have Jurassic Park. I mean, they have a bunch of DC. So you could be whoever you want and play against whoever you want. Yeah, which is awesome. So I love this game. You can get that on Funko's website or Walmart or Hot Topic or any of those stores where you get your Funko stuff.
Your preferred Funko retailer.
Exactly, which, I love Amazon, but I also love any place that has Funko. I literally, any place that has Funko, whether it's Target or Hot Topic or Box Lunch or wherever, I literally just immediately, if I walk by one of their stores, just go into their Funko section.
They get an A-OK in your book.
Exactly. So then they sent me a preview of some really, really cool stuff.
Hot Funko goss right now.
Yeah. So it is a giant.
It's like Christmas morning in here.
It is a giant.
Oh, man.
10-inch Lord Voldemort.
This is like what I'm trying, like 6 or 7 Funkos put together.
Yes. I mean, it is huge and like awesome. And it's got Nagini. You see, like it's just, yeah. I mean, it's just the attention to detail. It's huge. I love that it's big. Obviously, I love my normal Funko Pops. I love my my little mini guys, like the keychains. But this is just cool because it's so big.
This is a display piece.
It's a display
piece.
There's
no missing this walking into a room.
Yes. I mean, obviously, I display all of mine. But
true, they are all display pieces.
But this is like you can't miss this.
No. Imagine a squad of these together.
Right.
It's menacing.
Yeah. They have a I think it's 18-inch Harry Potter coming out in a few months. So it's going to be even bigger than this.
Oh, man.
I cannot wait for that.
We're going to need to knock down one of these walls and start moving into another studio.
I know. I'm going to need 2 studios just for my Funko collection. Then, and then, of course, all the ones I have at my house. That's a whole other story. So then they sent me some of the upcoming Harry Potter line because they release like a bunch of Harry Potters every quarter. Harry Potter franchise Funko Pop. So they sent me Ron Weasley with the Pail of Slugs. They sent me...
Oh, he's adorable.
Yes. Who doesn't love a cute little slug? Neville Longbottom. Oh, these are really cool. So this is an Earth Day special.
This is the one from my boo. Who is it?
Yes, it is Bill Nye.
The science guy.
The science guy.
Oh, man. I got to take a picture of this to show her.
Yeah, hot tub exclusive. I mean, hot tub.
Are they waterproof? Because it could be.
They could be waterproof. But I don't. Well, some people might enjoy being in the hot tub exclusively with Bill Nye. But that's not this type of show. So in this show, we do not harass poor Bill Nye.
We want to keep our
tub.
Funko Pops in proper mint condition as we can. I guess keep them out of water.
Exactly. So this is a Hot Topic exclusive. He's holding like the globe or the world or whatever you want to call it. But it's an Earth Day special edition line. They also sent me another Earth Day special, Earth Day exclusive. This is a box lunch exclusive, and it is Pocahontas. It's Miko with Flit. So, it goes like with the whole Earth Day thing. Just a really cool, nice touch from Funko. They're always doing,
They've always got something up their sleeve.
They do. And it's, their thing is like it's by the fans, for the fans. Everybody's a fan of something. Like, they literally just get it.
If you're a fan of Harry Potter, you're not going to be content with, okay, I've got one Ron, one Harry, one Hermione, and we're good to go. No, man. There's 7 movies.
Yes, and I need them all. I mean, and that's why I love Funko, because they are nerds themselves, and I talk
it's
to...
It's a trusted company, then. That's so you want to go to. If you're a nerd about these type of things, then you want it from the source. You want it from your peers, people who know where you're coming from.
Yes, your fellow pop culture obsessives, that's who you want your collectibles from. So that's why I love them. But anyway, I could just do a whole freaking show about Funko, and I probably will at some point.
I'm sure it's in the works.
Yeah. All right. So, what is out this week? What's out? So, well, nothing. There's nothing out this week. We're movies.
All in.
Yeah. There is an album that's coming out this week. It's Adam Lambert's new album, Velvet. And this is, Adam is saying that it's really his most authentic album. He actually co-wrote every single song on it. It's not searching for a poppiness like he said his previous work has. It's really just what he wants to do. So I'll be curious to hear this.
Adam Lambert, alumni of American Idol,
Yeah.
right? American Idol.
Yeah.
Just shutting down production last night because of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So I know that they were in the middle of airing some of the beginning of this season. I'm curious to see what's going to end up airing next Sunday if they do one final episode talking about we've got to wrap things up because of everything that's going on.
I didn't even think about that.
Unprecedented territory.
It really is. It really is. So you can check out Adam Lambert's new album, Velvet. Let's get into what we consume this week really quickly. What we consume this week. So let me tell you something. I watched this movie, and I thought it was a good idea before I started. My buddy came over, and it's funny because my boy comes over, and I'm like, before he even came, I was like, okay, wait, did you go to church this weekend? And he was like, no, they canceled it. And I was like, have you been like at any restaurants or anything? And he was like, no, I've been like staying low. And I'm like, do you feel okay? And he's like, I mean, I could take my temperature. And I'm like, yes, please.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you might as well.
Yeah. So I gave him this like whole thing, and then when he got there, I'm like, here's hand sanitizer. Like, stay away.
Safety
blah, blah, blah.
first in this day and age. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It only makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it really does. So I gotta, keep safe. So in any event, I had the brilliant idea to watch the movie called Contagion.
Oh, topical.
Yeah. About halfway through, I was like, I'm a moron. Why would I ever do this to myself? Have you ever seen it?
I have not.
Okay, so it's Steven Soderbergh as the director. It's got an all-star cast, including Gwyneth Paltrow, Matt Damon, Lawrence Fishburne, Kate Winslet. Really incredible cast. It is terrifying because it tracks the entire movie tracks a virus from start to finish, essentially, and it is extremely creepy how it is mirroring exactly what we're going through, right down to we don't have a virus, we don't have a cure, right down to, they mention social distancing, and this is a movie 9 years old, and they're like, everybody needs to social distance, blah, 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 blah. Like, it is terrifying now watching that movie.
Having seen it, though, do you think anybody who watched it back in the day would have learned anything useful that they could use today?
Absolutely. You could watch it now and be like, oh God, we need to take this seriously. It is terrifying because they even show like just subtle hints. They don't point it out, but it'll be like you see her grab a glass and take a drink and then she puts it down. And then then you see a waitress come and pick up the glass and then touch her face or whatever. And like, obviously they're not being like, hey guys, look, watch this part. But it's like subtle things like that where you're like, oh God.
Then you put the pieces together later on when you're, as the viewer, are trying to piece the puzzle together and go, how did this happen?
Yeah, it is terrifying. And then it ends up with looting and rioting. And then I was like, oh God, I am going to have a panic attack watching this.
Yeah, I mean, I know in Philly, they're boarding up some of the state liquor stores, which is funny. I saw an article. They're boarding up liquor store 7 blocks this way, but meanwhile, the liquor store 7 blocks in the other direction is just closed, and it is as it would be any other day when it was closed.
Right.
So are they expecting, like, is there one hotspot hotter than the other?
Right. Yeah, I
think if we're looting, it's just everyone
everywhere.
for themselves,
Yeah.
everywhere. Exactly.
Yeah, but we're not going to get to that here, so that's awesome.
No, we're not going to get to that at all, I don't think.
Neither do I.
There's no shortage in supplies.
Yep.
Everything is available. Go to the stores. Don't spend all day in the store. Let the old people shop first, and the people with compromised immune systems, let them shop first, and then we go in and get our stuff. Why are we rushing for toilet paper?
Yeah, there's plenty of it.
You're going to feel like a fool 3 months down the line when you've got a room full of toilet paper you don't know what to do with.
Exactly. So anyway, that's what I consumed. Did you consume anything this week, or have you been?
I caught up yesterday because it's very exciting. It's filmed in Philadelphia. I don't know if you could tell, but I'm from Philadelphia. On AMC, there's Dispatches from Elsewhere. Jason Segel stars. He's also producing it. He created it as well. And it's Jason Segel. There's a squad of 4 people. Jason Segel is one of them. Andre Benjamin, Andre 3000.
Oh, wow.
Eve Lindley, and Sally Field are 4 people from very different walks of life, very different folks who come together because they're all drawn in with this game. They don't know if it's a game. They don't know if it's a prank. They don't know if it's a scam. And they're all trying to figure it out together in and around Philadelphia. And as much as it's a fun distraction from what's going on right now, it's kind of like a mystery, almost whimsical type show. It's also filmed all around Philadelphia, which for me is just a thrill to watch.
Yeah.
It's like, I've been there. I know where that is. I know where that is. Though there is the hiccup in being from Philadelphia and seeing this set in Philadelphia when you see, okay, they're on the bus heading this way up Spring Garden Street, and then in the next scene they're heading towards downtown, and somehow they end up in a neighborhood 7 miles in the other direction. Like, when you know a little bit too much about it, it kind of detracts from it. But other than that, if you're from anywhere, you'd love Dispatches from Elsewhere, because it's just a great sort of, it's not really heavy, it's light, it's a mystery, it's just kind of puts you in a good, fun, happy, mysterious mood.
Okay. I love mysteries, and it's called Dispatches from Elsewhere.
Dispatches from Elsewhere. It's streaming on AMC. It also airs on AMC Monday nights at 10, and I'm sure you can catch up on the 4 episodes that have already been released on the AMC app. I know that's where I'm watching it, on our Roku. Shouts to anybody. If you're paying for cable, you get it. If you have your parents' cable login, like some of us do, you can watch it that way as well. Shouts to my parents. Thanks, guys.
Okay, so let's get into our big feature presentation. All right, our feature presentation, best movies to watch during coronavirus quarantine. So you have a list of movies that you love, right?
Yeah, it's just movies that I'd happily watch again and again and again and have. And hopefully, if you haven't seen them, or like I said, I'd watch them again and again and again. Another reason to dip back into them, especially if you've got a lot of time on your hands and nowhere to be.
Awesome. I did a list of, this could be the best movies to watch during quarantine or the movies to avoid during quarantine.
Well, let's talk about how you felt watching Contagion. So,
yeah.
Let that be a lesson to some people. If this could be a list, like you said, a list to jump on or a list to avoid.
Yeah, it depends on what exactly you're going for. If you're going for terrify yourself into a panic attack, avoid these next few movies. So Contagion, which is the one I was talking about previously. So Contagion, I've already talked about. Quarantine is a horror movie where the CDC is containing an outbreak in like an apartment building and everybody's locked in. Terrifying and also awesome. Don't know right now if you want to watch it, or if you do, I'm still debating on if I'm going to.
We got an email from our When you get an email from your landlord in times of Corona, you don't know what's going to be in the body of that email. Luckily, it wasn't anything out of the ordinary, anything that we haven't already been hearing.
Yeah, or it ends up being a thing like quarantine where you're locked in your building because the virus is in your building and they can't afford to have it get out into the public.
See, don't be bringing this up because my boo was talking about, hey, should we go get some more cat food just in case, like, there's a run on cat food, which there hasn't been yet, but then you bring this up. What if we can't go buy cat food anymore? Maybe we should go buy some cat food. You're making me rethink my plans after I get out of here today.
Don't watch any of the movies on this list then, on the following list for you. Dawn of the Dead is a classic.
It's a classic. If anything, for film history to watch it at this stage of the game, but, well, I haven't seen, again, Quarantine or Contagion. I don't know how freaked out you can get in zombie territory.
Right.
Because that's not exactly what's happening.
Right.
But there is a sickness spreading. So when it comes to zombies, maybe check that one out.
Yeah. If nothing, it's mindless fun.
Exactly.
Do you get it? Mindless?
You can't have a mind if the zombies are eating your brains.
Exactly. 28 Days Later. Have you ever seen this?
Good gravy.
Such a good movie.
I could watch the supermarket scene on loop for the rest of my life. As much fun as they're all having in a supermarket when no one else is around, that's how much fun I have in a supermarket on any given trip. Plus, the song by Granddaddy, AM 180, fantastic music for that scene, and oh, God, it's so good. I love that scene, and it was a fun movie, too.
28 Weeks Later is the sequel, which was also really good. That was also the first movie, I feel like. Was 28 Days Later the first movie, or was it the new Dawn of the Dead, where zombies ran?
I think it was 28 Days Later that really changed the zombie game. Okay. When you look back on Dawn of the Dead, and it's that they're like...
The original Dawn of the Dead.
They're shuffling. They're not really moving at a clip. They're just clawing their way through your door, and you're freaking out on the other side of the door. 28 Days Later is when these zombies strapped on their Nikes and were ready to take you down.
It comes at night. Did you see that?
No, but it sounds terrifying.
It is terrifying. So I took my godson because he's a huge horror movie lover. And look, I'm all about rated R, shouldn't be for kids, blah, 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 blah. But on a case-by-case basis, I will kind of investigate a movie if my godson wants to see it and decide with his parents, obviously.
Use your best discretion. Use your best judgment.
So it seemed innocent enough from the reviews. Like, nobody was like, oh, it's terribly gory or violent or anything. And it's not. But when we went to see it, so he's 13, he was probably 12 at the time. When we went to see it in the theater, we both audibly screamed at one part. Like, literally at the same time, we were both like, ah! Like, because there was, this is terrifying because it comes at night as reality-based. So it is, imagine a world where everybody's sick, blah, 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 or, there's a sickness going around and there's pockets of people, and what this family does to keep it that way, keep them safe. But then they meet somebody who needs help, and it's insane, and it is a very good movie.
Should they have helped the person that needs help, would you say?
You have to tune in to find out. Streaming wherever you stream your movies, probably. I Am Legend.
That was one of the first movies I bootlegged back in the day when we got a Wii, and the Wii had a web browser, and it was the first thing in our household that was connected to the internet and connected to the TV. So it was like, how can I pull up like a streaming video website on this thing? It's like, oh snap, I can. So I watched a very grainy copy of I Am Legend on our TV back in the day at the dawning of the Wii.
Which is a great movie.
Oh, it's a blast.
Yeah.
When it comes to the visuals and the idea of running through like the supermarket scene in 28 Days Later, running through this place that's typically super inhabited by people and is just empty, and essentially having it to yourself. It's a thrilling concept. It could be a fun concept, but when you're being chased after by zombies, it's not as fun as it could be.
Right. Which brings us to World War Z, which was a zombie virus outbreak movie.
Set in Philadelphia, not filmed in Philadelphia, so points off for that.
But I love that movie. That's a great movie, too. Just, if if you're trying to distract yourself, depending on how you're trying to distract yourself, if you want to go full blown like, oh, this would never happen. Look how bad, look how bad it is in the movies. We're nothing compared to that.
Exactly. That's a great mindset to be in when this is, of course, it's overblown. It's done up real big to be a entertaining movie. It's not like that in real life.
Right.
We've got a tighter grip on this than they did in 28 Days Later.
Yes. Yeah, so that is my list of the best movies to watch during coronavirus quarantine, or the best movies not to watch, depending on your point of view.
I'm trying to go more middle of the road here. It could go in any which direction. It's all about taste.
Love it.
And these taste great to me. I like that you ended on World War Z, a Brad Pitt feature.
Yes.
Because let's start off, if we're switching to my list, with Fight Club.
I love Fight Club.
That's a fun trip.
Yes.
Who doesn't like to see Brad Pitt ripped, wearing goofy glasses and a big fuzzy coat?
Yeah.
That's the kind of the aesthetic I try to go for. I come across much sloppier, but that's also a trippy mind bender if you don't know the story.
Yeah.
It's entertaining to watch. You want to comment on society. It's comment on commercialism and the way we do things in our lives. So it might make you think twice about that, but no real heavy, no one chasing after you zombie-wise.
Yeah. By the way, Funko is coming out with a line for Fight Club.
Shouts to Funko. Wouldn't mind seeing one of those make an appearance here in the Pop Culture Weekly studio. Whenever I'm in here doing anything, I'm staring at, Brittany and Justin. Not that I don't love them, but let's get
Elton John and Prince and
Billy Idol.
And Newt Gingrich. Newt.
I was gonna say what?
That would be the weirdest Funko Pop ever.
That's for the big election coming up, a line of political Funko Pop dolls.
Yeah. They did do. I want to say they did that a few years ago. I know there was Hillary. Pretty sure there was Trump and Bernie.
I mean, it only makes sense.
Yeah. Interesting. But anyway, sorry, I got
with the movies.
diverted.
Fight Club. It's a fun romp about running around and Brad Pitt wearing crazy outfits. Like I said, try to mimic that aesthetic as best I can. I really more often mimic the aesthetic of the dude from The Big Lebowski. And that.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen that?
Yes, of course.
Of course. Perfect. Love it. If you haven't, by all means, check it out. It's a nice laid back. There's an underlying theme of drama, but it's from the perspective of a real laid-back guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're trying to achieve here in these times. As much as we're trying to wash our hands and be proactive, that can be exhausting.
Yes.
So if you finally made it safe and sound back to the house, or you don't have a lot going on for a while, The Big Lebowski, let's just go bowling.
Yeah,
and after all this blows over, we'll all go bowling.
Yes, I love that.
What's a spiritual successor, in my mind, which might not be true. It's, two different worlds, but spiritual successor to The Big Lebowski is Inherent Vice. Have you seen Inherent Vice?
No.
It came out of 2014. Comedy, crime are the two descriptors of the movie. P.T. Anderson was the director.
Oh, okay.
And it stars Hollywood golden boy at this juncture, Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh.
And he plays somewhat of an aloof character caught up in this weird sort of bizarre crime mystery that it's a fun adventure to go on with a guy who's sort of like laid back and is just riding the wave. I think at this stage of the game, what's going on, the best we can do is just ride the wave.
Yeah.
Follow rules and regulations, but ride the wave. So Inherent Vice, put that on the list.
Okay.
It'd be fun to watch. And when it comes to not murder mystery, but looking at the big picture, what's the meaning of life? I know there's love, hate with this movie. I loved it. Back in high school, one spring break, when we had off from school for a couple days, this was on HBO 17 times. I must have watched it 17 times. David O. Russell. The film is iHeart Huckabees. Have you seen iHeart Huckabees?
I have not, actually.
Any opinions going in? Have you heard anything one way or the other?
Yes. Does this have anything to do with the Huckabee, the politician?
No.
Okay.
No. Huckabees is like a Kmart type corporation.
Oh.
This is Jason Schwartzman, Dustin Hoffman, Lily Tomlin, Jude Law is in it. And it's really, what's the meaning of life?
Okay.
The Jason Schwartzman character, he's running into some coincidences, and he goes to these detectives who investigate coincidences and stuff like that to figure out why does this keep happening? What's going on here? Jude Law is a big advertising-y type guy who's in with the Huckabees Corporation trying to make it to the top, make it to the quarter office. And Jason Schwartzman's character, kind of other end of the spectrum, he's fighting for open spaces. He works for the Open Spaces Coalition, trying to save the marshlands, as opposed to Jude Law trying to build another Huckabees, and how their worlds collide. Mark Wahlberg is in it, playing. It's the most bizarre, fun thing. And again, you want to go on a fun romp for 2 hours, enjoy yourself and distract yourself for a little bit, iHeart Huckabees is on that list.
Okay.
I'll wrap it up. Punch Drunk Love.
Oh, amazing.
Fan of Punch Drunk Love?
Amazing film.
2002 was the year. P.T. Anderson again, for sensing a theme. I saw this on a black and white TV when it was played over the air on like the local CW channel years ago. That's where I first saw this.
Wait, what was this, the 50s? Why were you on a black and white TV?
Look, back then that technology still worked before the digital transition. It was great. But Adam Sandler, in one of his every now and again stellar, serious roles.
Yeah.
And not only is it a great story visually, it's very beautiful with David O. Russell is part of it, but John Bryan does the soundtrack. He also does the soundtrack to iHeart Huckabees. So 2 great soundtracks, 2 great movies. And the story of just down on his luck, stuck, lost in the world, guy who sells plungers, suddenly out of nowhere meeting this lady and falling for her and figuring out how to go about that while dealing with his crazy family and his weird work life and just trying to make it all work. Fun fact, there's a subplot involving frequent flyer miles that he gets by buying special boxes of pudding and special soup cans. That actually really happened.
Really?
There was a promotion. It was Healthy Choice Foods. Ran a promotion where you could get frequent flyer miles for buying their products. It was apparently an incredible deal if you actually did the math and bought the right amount of products. So in the movie, Adam Sandler uses it to his advantage, but in real life, somebody also bought the proper amount of Healthy Choice products and ended up being able to fly anywhere he wanted for the rest of his life.
Wow.
Do a little Googling. While you're sitting around with nothing to do, look up that story and also watch Punch Drunk Love.
Yes. Yeah, it is a great movie. That's the end of your list?
Yeah, that's a wrap.
Okay. I will also throw in the Harry Potter movies because...
If you've got time,
Yes.
1 to 7, there's like they split one of them in half, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you've got the time. Now's the time to catch up on Harry Potter. It's perfect time.
Yeah. And Fantastic Beasts, that franchise, the third one, I don't know when now it'll be coming out, but the third one will be coming up in the next year or so. And there's a lot of stuff you could catch up on. MCU, there's 24 movies on the MCU.
Oh, man. Now
Start at the beginning.
If you've been someone, maybe like myself, who is not paid attention, who's, overlooked them, not really given them a second thought, now is a perfect opportunity for all of us to get up on the same page and catch up on these movies when we got the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to do Game of Thrones, which everybody yells at me for never watching.
Right.
Now I can do it.
Are you happy now?
Exactly. All right. Well, Justin, thank you for hanging out with me.
Thank you for having me, Kyle. It was a blast in here.
Of course. Where can we find you? Can we find you anywhere?
My handle is local news. Not like local news, like LOL, LOLCALNEWS. Twitter is just going to be a bunch of depressing news stuff. The Instagram is the place to go. Local news on Instagram for me and my boo. You can see us dressed up as Walter and the dude from The Big Lebowski at a costume party recently. A lot of cat content. Me and my son Flea and her cat, our cat Gummy Bear. A lot of them on there. And local news. LOLCALNEWS. Like local news, but fun.
I love it. All right, guys, stay safe, practice social distancing, keep in touch with us. Your support has made this show be what it is. Continue sharing it with your friends. Continue reviewing. That's been hugely big for us, hugely big. That's awful.
Bigly
That's
huge.
been bigly for us. In any event, I will see you next week. Be safe, wash your hands, social distance, stay home if you're sick. See you next week.
You're listening to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon, presented by 92.9 Tom FM, an iHeart radio station.
Hey!
Just a quick hour.